Now, we all know this abomination was canceled due to reasons involving a recent tragedy and a loss of life. So let's just talk about the one and only issue for this dog shit comic because, holy God, what the fuck is 2025 Red Hood, right? Now, I will say this, the art is pretty good, but the art direction, especially for Jason, not so good. Not so good. The man is in his early 20s, but looks like he got through his second divorce and both ex kids, as well as him seeming to be a fucking alcoholic with like a 5 o'clock shadow or some shit, right? He does not look great, but I understand what they were trying to do with his costume. But the problem is that he has much better costume designs than this, right? Hell, like they even had his mask under his helmet. Why did they abandon the whole mask, right? Like the whole helmet, right? I don't understand. Like he had the drip, he had so much going on, and it's changed. It's shit compared to before. But it also seems like the events of the comic happens a bit after his fight with Batman during the Under the Red Hood story. I think, right? Where for some reason he isn't from current to former killing people and then themselves. He comes to a city to try and investigate, gets visited by Huntress that I feel makes me kind of sick to think that they could have a romance. I'm pretty sure they were probably hinting at something because she's there for some reason. And this is pretty much it for the comic. He goes to find a lead, gets attacked by his own informant, point blank kills the guy, then goes home. It's actually a pretty lame first issue, right? It's not anything special. It's supposed to draw a motherfucker in, you know, but this did not, right? If this was actually a really good first comic, maybe there'd be a bigger group of people wanting to know more, or at least put in another writer for this, right? But editorial or people at DC had faith in this. But yeah, Jason is still salty about his fight with Bruce, and even though he doesn't take his guns on these outings, he still lets people die. I don't know why they wrote him to do this, because if he's trying to be better, using some poor bastard as a human shield doesn't fucking help, right? I don't see a Jason I want to see here. Maybe if they had Jason having an identity crisis, grappling with what Bruce told him in the apartment at the end of Under the Red Hood, that he doesn't allow himself to kill because he won't just be the same. I can't speak. He won't just be the same as them. He would probably be much worse than them, right? Explain to him. Imagine Jason. I can imagine Jason imagining a much worse and dangerous Batman, deadlier, the man he admires, the father he loves, being the killer that he doesn't allow himself to be, would change somebody, would change somebody, change his perspectives of the man he loves, right? Of the man he respects, his father figure, pretty much his father, right? I think that would have been an interesting take. That he is already compromised, but Bruce still loves him, that he is grappling with what he wants to do now, right? Now that he has failed his selfish and self-destructive goal of killing the Joker and doesn't know what to do with himself anymore. I think it would have been interesting if while he was roaming the stage trying what he wants to do with his life, I think Red Hood at his best is when he's making up for his past sins, and to the little Robin in his heart wanting to do better and be better, right? There are many inconsistent aspects of Jason that writers throw in and out of his stories, along with no real purpose for Jason besides being the more aggressive and damaged Robin of the bunch, of course. But I think it would have been, I can't speak. I think it would have been mighty interesting if Jason became the Batman who primarily deals with magical beings and entities and being in the magical realm and world of DC. In a video from long ago, right, I talked about Jason being the Batman of the magical side of DC. Jason being the leader of Justice League Dark, or even like a character who helps bring it together, makes a whole lot of sense, especially paired with Artemis and Bizarro, if that's the case. And I think it would have been interesting that because of his return from death, he can see what normal people can't. Even Batman can't. Ghosts, spirits, demons, sensing a magical presence, you name it, right? And wanting it to stop seeing it as a curse, he would travel to where Dr. Fate is and ask him to take away this so-called curse. But Dr. Fate would see this as an ability, an opportunity to help Jason find himself in a situation where he can be even much more than Batman, who has never been in this sort of situation before. Fate would help Jason deal with his past, his fears, his trauma, and himself by using magic to help him face himself, face everything, and I can't speak, and in the end, forgive himself. And after this, Jason would be encouraged to help Fate with a situation created by a Lord of Chaos. Let's just use Carrion for this specific imaginary situation, storyline, whatever, right? Carrion would be causing a whole tragedy, a whole bunch of hoopla, whatever, using the followers of Chaos magic to his means, right? Because he's a little fucking asshole. While Fate deals with Carrion, Jason can destroy the magic users who have Jason a bit angry with what they've done. They can do whatever they want with what they did. It's Justice League Dark. It's a Justice League Dark sort of situation, so they can make it as dark as they want, especially with Jason. Jason, would deal with these guys quickly, especially with armor and weapons made by nth metal, that Fate fashioned for him, which helps him deal with the rookie sorcerers and, whatever sorcerers are there. Carrion, the Witch Boy, would see Jason and would be curious and, force a situation where he would talk with him, wondering why a human with so much chaotic energy around him would help the Lords of Order, which would lead to Karen wanting Jason to be a primary agent of his chaos and tries to turn Jason into his follower. But Jason, with his willpower and strength, breaks free from this. Noticing that he's kind of similar to another person he tried to go ahead and bring into his fold of scions or whatever the fuck, right? Batman, and realizing that this motherfucker is basically the same. So he's like, this motherfucker gots to die, right? Or if he can't have him, the Lords of him, a situation like that. Jason would use this experience and sort of introduction into the world of magic, and this would give Jason a goal that is similar to Batman, where Bruce is at war with crime, Jason would be at war on chaos, which can symbolize the war inside himself, the Joker, and the chaos in the world, which could be a pretty neat sort of situation, right? I think that could be really nice. This would have Jason going around the world, investigating followers of chaos, trying to find avatars of chaos to deal with. With Dr. Fate's help, he would create an assortment of gear to deal with all types of problems. But, mainly he would deal with humans non-lethally, right? With demons and monsters. Yeah, that nth metal is going to be cool. And it would be really nice for an idea like this to be more explored. This would be how he comes back to Gotham to deal with a magical situation that even the Bat family would need great help in. It will be a great way to introduce Artemis into his life, dealing with mythical creatures. And if you want to add Bizarro, just to have him be like the muscle and, be this science that can go ahead and overwhelm magic, or, him being, they can do it. They can do the same thing with Grundy, like magically bring him back to life. And, he is basically just like magic Bizarro in a way. They could do something like that, I guess. But tell me what you guys think of this comic. What do you guys think of my ideas, my variety of ideas for all this? I'm sure people will enjoy it. Maybe I highly doubt it. But yeah, this comic was not it. And if I can just make a more interesting comic in my head in, a few days time, how hard can it be? But getting through editorial and other people, that's a whole different story. But tell me what you guys think about, Red Hood 2025. What sort of storyline would you make for Jason yourself if you could? I think that would be really interesting to discuss in the comments below. I would love to hear it. And with that being said, subscribe to the channel for more content. Thank you so much for watching. It really does mean a lot that you guys are watching and enjoying the content and, you know, talking to each other. It's fucking great. Have a great day. Stay safe and healthy mentally, emotionally, and physically. See you guys next time. Peace.